Hello YouTube. I'm going to be reading a new concept of the universe written by Walter Russell. Polarity periodicity is the basis of the constitution of matter. Nature is engaged in the making of but one form, the cube sphere, which means the same as though we said female male of man. The sphere is the positive centering sun. The cube is the invisible surrounding wave field. All matter is thus divided into positive solids surrounded by negative spaces. As matter begins its formation into spheres, its first shape is disc-like, for it begins as the base of a cone. In a series of efforts which constitute the octave wave, the first disc-like effort gradually prolates until the perfect sphere is formed at the wave amplitude. This is the process by means of which matter emerges from space. During this process, the balanced poles which control all matter move gradually towards the pole of rotation. When the sphere is perfected, as it finally is at carbon, the two poles coincide with the pole of rotation, and the equator of the perfected sphere is 90 degrees from the wave's axis. Likewise, the wave field becomes a true cube. Likewise, any element which has reached its true sphere status will crystallize as a true cube. Likewise, any divided pairs of elements which unite as one on wave amplitude, such as sodium and chlorine, will crystallize in the true cube shape of its wave field. Conversely, as true spheres oblate, the two balancing poles move away from the pole of rotation and towards the wave axis until depolarization is completed and magnetic poles disappear in the plane of the wave axis. This is the manner in which space swallows up matter. The mechanics of this process of polarization and depolarization under the guiding control of two pairs of magnetic poles will be more fully described later. This electric process of polarization takes place with increasing intensity for 1/2 of every cycle, whether of one breath, the cycle of a day, a year, or a lifetime. A man of 40 will have reached his fully polarized strength to manifest life in the first half of his life-death cycle. Depolarization then assumes control as polarity reverses at the wave amplitude of man's life cycle. Devitalization then begins, and from there on man manifests the death half of the cycle. This process takes place in every creating particle of matter or any combination of particles, whether in man, ant, electron, or nebula. As polarization increases in intensity, the strains and tensions set up by the desire of opposites of polarity to pull away from each other increase in their intensity. This fact is exactly the opposite effect from the conclusion stated in the Coulomb's law. As polarization decreases, the strains and tensions of electric opposition relax, until polarity entirely disappears in the rest condition of the equipotential plane of the wave axis. This fact should not be interpreted as electric opposites attracting each other, for depolarization means that the ability to oppose lessens as each pole avoids the other in the rest condition, but they still thrust away from each other until their end. The entire process of polarization and depolarization of every action-reaction of nature could well be described as a lever reaching out in opposite directions from its fulcrum until it could reach no farther, then reversing those directions and unwillingly withdrawing into its fulcrum where motion ceases to again begin and again reverse.